What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the BS podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about a few different things, varying from the FBI planting evidence on Trump again, but then again, what's new? And then also failed and successful homicides going on in the church today. And you've probably seen both of these if you're on TikTok at all. But before we get started, don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, click all of the things, all linked conveniently down below.
There's
Go
a
ahead.
link.
There is none?
No, there is one at the bottom.
Good. There is one.
It should be everywhere.
Perfect. Use that. It's Linktree. Very, very handy. Anyway, moving just straight on into this. So Trump is always under attack by the shadow government, the deep state, the FBI, Joe Biden, the Russians. I don't know, whoever you want to call them now. But the latest in news is that Donald Trump is demanding that Jack Smith be arrested after they basically admitted that they printed out, fabricated, and then placed, which that's a criminal act because that would be framing somebody, in Trump's Mar-a-Lago house, and nobody cares. I didn't know that being able to plant evidence on political opponents was fair game now in the realm of political war. But if that was the case, I mean, I would say that we could do that to the liberals, but I mean, Hunter Biden's laptop is already incriminating enough in itself. So.
Well, it's been going on forever.
Well, no, duh. After the whole Kennedy assassination and being revealed that it was the CIA and all this other stuff being released about Waco and 9/11. I mean, are we surprised? I'm not surprised. I know about that. But wasn't this something that we tried, or I should say we successfully? Why am I saying we? I wanted nothing to do with this. Isn't this what the liberals in DC managed to impeach Donald Trump for? And it's that he actually didn't do, but then the exact same thing that they claim that he did is what they're doing, but then no one goes or says anything about them.
That's pretty standard, though.
Politics is so freaking confusing. And then another thing that
wrong with your, hold on, just for clarification, I think there's something wrong on my end with your camera.
Am I frozen?
Yeah, it keeps freezing, and I don't know why.
Shame. Oh, there I am. Hello.
Well, this is like the 5th time it's happened. So
okay,
if it freezes. It freezes, guys. Technical difficulty. I'm sorry, but
I'm frozen again.
I don't know.
Dag-nabbit, stupid internet. Well, as long as people can hear me, that's fine. Can y'all hear me?
I'm gonna stop that one. See what's going on there.
Can anybody hear me?
I hope they can.
If you can hear me, comment something down below. Anyway, I'm gonna keep talking though. So I actually saw a TikTok about this. It was either this morning or yesterday, but it was talking about the irony that one of the apparently an impeachable offense for Donald Trump was the fact that he was supposedly withholding support to the Ukrainians unless they did something, which wasn't the case. That never happened. He simply was just talking to them. I didn't know it was, impeachable for one world leader to talk to another world leader, but I guess it is. Oh, well. But Joe Biden just did that exact same thing with Israel just before all this happens. And I kind of feel like this whole document, placement, frame job is to cover up that fact that Joe Biden just basically said, yo, Israel, you don't do what we want. You can just suffer with your, Palestinian terrorists.
Well, it's not. Well, it's just to blame Trump and get rid of Trump mainly. That's what the goal was.
I don't know. I just feel like every time something groundbreaking like this really should be headlining news that our own government would frame the president from 4 years ago.
Well, again, they do it all the time,
crazy offenses and then cover it up.
Well, let's look at this video real quick.
I'm just saying.
Kash Patel was on Benny Johnson. Actually, got a pretty good summary of what it is.
Jack Smith has just been exposed by Judge Cannon of doing what? Lying to a federal court. These guys keep doing it. The judge just unsealed documents in the Jack Smith case down in Florida, which says
swearing on the Bible in court don't mean squat.
To tampering with evidence, to moving the very boxes from one location outside of D.C. to South Florida before they ever even charged Donald Trump.
That's
How in the world can you not be prosecuting and charging these constitutional gangsters that are at DOJ? And they learn it from the same place, the top down, the same AGs, the same DAGs, the same FBI directors who are cheering them on. I hope Judge Cannon, he's an actual fun legal thing that should actually be occurring. Judge Cannon should be implementing actual contempt proceedings against Jack Smith and the Department of Justice for lying to a federal judge and withholding evidence of exclusion and innocence from Donald Trump. Those contempt proceedings would be righteous, and I'd like to see those. Maybe we could put Jack Smith in prison.
That's fascinating, I have to say, but that's never gonna happen.
I agree.
You know, it's funny that like something as crazy as planting evidence against the 45th president of the United States to frame him for something as awful and terrible as a crime such as this is just something that we can now kind of laugh about, because the irony is there will be no justice. No one will get in trouble for it. It's going to be other than us talking about it. And, you know, like Benny Johnson, no one's going to know.
Well,
and if I make a comment about this on somebody's like TikTok, you know, talking about, you know, Trump did this, they found these documents, and I say, but they were planted. They're gonna be like, no, they weren't, because no one's gonna know.
This is my understanding. This is what I read. I read that basically after Trump left the White House, he was told to come pick up a lot of belongings and a lot of documents, a lot of boxes, and people. So Trump ain't doing that. Trump is a billionaire. So
I don't see him getting in a
some
Subaru
dude
and going
in a truck.
Grab that.
You know, he's got someone in a Trump U-Haul truck or something like that. Went and grabbed everything, and then they took it down to Mar-a-Lago, and then he put it inside some storage rooms, maybe a spare bedroom he had, whatever it was. That bathroom picture. I don't know if that bathroom picture is real or not, but my understanding is the FBI actually put classified stuff in there that he didn't even know that was in there as well. So there's that as well. And then again, this whole picture thing is he lied in front of to a court, to a federal judge, and basically now that criminal trial is now gone. It's halted indefinitely, which is really
that's a good thing, because it was a sham in the first place.
That's my point. The whole thing was a complete another sham, just like every other thing that's happening right now. But I mean, now that's gone, so it's like, okay, we're done with that. Now let's go into this. You know,
okay, now we need to investigate the people who are planting classified documents.
But that won't happen because the Republicans are completely useless and do nothing.
Okay, I don't want to be that channel that's just like, they're all so useless. But they are all so useless. Liberals are useless. Republicans are useless. I don't like any of them. What if we had a governmental purge? You know, I actually saw a TikTok this morning. It was revolving something about the Met Gala, but I liked the premise of her video, and it was talking about having a digital guillotine. This was regarding like social media influencers, but a political guillotine in the sense of, all right, cut the snake off at the head. You're all fired. Bye. No pensions. Go work at 7-Eleven. Go find a Chipotle. You know, make some bean burritos. We don't want you.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I think I've told you this before.
What?
I think if I were president tomorrow, the first thing I do is every single person in all of Congress and White House, up to the guy changing the light bulb.
Yes, you have said this.
He's gone. They all need to go away.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Sorry, dude. Sorry, janitor. I know you just changed the light bulb, but you're here. You need to leave. Never come back again. Thank you for your service. Gone. We need 100% reset of everything, but see, that's not realistic. But
I believe
Vivek kind of
totally
proposed
realistic.
a little bit of that. He wanted to do like 50, like within like the first like year. And so, sorry, what were you saying?
I was going to say that's completely realistic. I mean, as my dad says, pop smoke. Peace. Bye. Go away.
Yeah. Well, okay. So like with this planting though too, I in my research came up with this of a journalist named Cheryl Atkinson. I don't know if she worked with James O'Keefe or not. I didn't do too much. I don't really care. The point is, she testified this last year.
And sometimes it takes far too long to be able to clear those matters up.
Oh, it's fluffy hair, dude.
May I say one little reported facet of my case is one of the federal agents involved in one of the operations against me said that they intended to plant child porn in my husband's computer.
This was during Obama.
The FBI. There's been a case that's currently in litigation, unrelated, in which an FBI agent has testified that they did that. They have done that. It was not accomplished in my case. I guess the curtain was drawn on that facet of the operation prior to them doing it. But imagine how you ever get out of that. They knew we had a young daughter at home and had allegedly conspired to do that.
It's insane. That's insane.
Okay, maybe I'm just desensitized because this is the world I'm growing up in.
Well,
but what's new?
We're all living in it. But
what's new though? Yeah, but see, the difference is, first of all, I was born when you graduated high school, and you and me and my mom and my dad, like those are 3 completely different generations. You guys kind of got to see normalcy.
Correct. The 90s were probably the last like normal decade. Yeah, I would agree with you.
Like as normal, quote unquote, as you could possibly get. Sure. But like, I kind of look at all of this on just everywhere, TikTok, Fox News, Newsweek, whatever. And I'm just kind of like.
Well, also I think that's partially with social media because I think it was happening.
Yeah.
So I think social media is a part of that. We are 100% connected every day. Well, we're not. Well, yeah, we're desensitized, but we're connected to everything every day, all information. So I think that's partially why.
Yeah.
And so I mean, because again, in the 90s, growing up, I mean, when I was 15 in 2000,
you're older than the internet.
I technically am older than the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, even then, like,
I'm older than AI.
We didn't have anything. Like we didn't have 24/7 news cycles or anything like that. And so, but it is wild. So I don't know what we're saying.
If anyone's wondering why I'm staring off to the side, my mom's in the back with a piece of paper. Apparently, we're in a tornado alert right now in Texas, and she wants to know if she should go lock the horses up. I was literally just outside. It was sunny out. But then again, we're Texans. We like to pop open our lawn chairs in the sunshine and be like, oh, a tornado. That's fascinating. Okay. But, okay. I hate to say this, but can we just move on from the Trump?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I just,
it happens every day.
Yes or no? She wants to know.
Call Anisha. See if she'll put the horses up. Thank you, Mom. Okay, moving on from the Trump stuff, though, because no offense.
I just wanted to bring it up.
It happens all the time. I know
I
we
just
got
wanted
to
to bring it
talk
because
about
it's important this week.
I know it's important, but I look at all this and I go, okay, what's new?
I know
my
you're
life goes
about
on.
It.
Like this morning I was babysitting. I have a sewing lesson this evening and then I have a writing lesson. Like my world doesn't come to a crashing halt because politicians in DC are corrupt. And I think that's kind of, honestly, I feel like that's a little poetic for a lot of Americans right now. It's that like we don't have enough energy to like be outraged over everything. Like I think we should because they're screwing us over and we just get the fuzzy end of the lollipop. But then at the same time, I'm like, I got horses to feed. I got things to do.
Yeah. No, I understand.
I have vet bills I got to go pay.
I understand.
Like there are 1,300-pound animals that if I don't go do my job, starve. I don't really have time to be pissed that some special councilman named Jack Smith is a dick and decided to fabricate evidence just because this really highly tanned, robust man with fabulous hair pissed him off.
So what do you want to move
saying.
So, okay, well, what do you want to move on to then?
Oh, I want to talk about the fact. So if you guys have been on TikTok recently, you've probably seen the hashtag like justice for Mika going around right now. So the story of this woman, Mika Miller, is she and her husband, John Paul Miller, he's the pastor of a church, and she just committed suicide. And the reason why this came to light was because in his sermon at his church, I think it was like 2 Sundays ago now, he basically said at the end of the service, hey, I just want to let y'all know my wife committed suicide. It's really sad.
While in
service.
So I don't know much about the story other than what we did in pregame here.
Yes, I've been following it.
This guy gave a sermon like any other Sunday, correct? This is my understanding. And then at the end, basically probably did like oh, by the way, my wife is now dead.
Yeah.
Could you like probably pray for her, keep me in your heart, family, or whatever, just so you guys know that's why she's not here, kind of thing. That's I'm obviously not saying quoting, but just of it, right?
It was a little weirder.
Yeah, that's strange on
that.
Any merit.
Like, okay, first of all, this church is in South Carolina, so it's a Southern church. Southern churches have this like very like tight-knit community where you do like have a lot of openness with everybody. But if you watch the video, just the way he was saying it, it was just so casual. Like, yeah, my wife died. Anyway, John 3:16. It was kind of like that.
He did not do that. Come on.
That's the vibe I got.
Okay, it's a vibe. Okay.
That was the
Well-
vibe. It was really casual. Like if my wife died, sorry, correction. If my husband died and I was the pastor of a church, I don't know, that's the way I would go about it. And I definitely wouldn't be so casual about it if it was in fact the love of my life. But this is where the story gets weird.
Well, just we're clarifying that.
Yes.
If I was a pastor, I would take a leave of absence if my wife died, or especially for at least a week or two.
I would do that if they died, but if they supposedly committed suicide,
even that I would. But I'm just saying, just in general, if my wife died 4 days before I was supposed to go and speak on Sunday, I don't think I would sit there and be, I'm gonna go get my sermon just like a normal Sunday.
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen. I would take a leave of absence from any job. I think at least how I feel, and that's really weird.
That just seems like normal etiquette.
The reason why you and I started arguing earlier, go into like everything that you're going to talk about.
Yes. Are you going to say your side of it?
No, I want you to explain what's going on.
Okay. So this guy, John Paul Miller, is the pastor of Solid Rock Church in South Carolina. His wife, Mika Miller, well, how do I put this lightly? He met her when she was 14 years old and he was already married with 5 kids. So people are kind of a little bit sussed out about this. Oh, and then get this. It turns out that 10 days before she supposedly committed suicide, she was filing for a divorce. She's taken out multiple restraining orders and she's contacted the police multiple times for domestic violence. This pastor of this church has a police record that goes back all the way to 2003 regarding assault, battery, and domestic violence. Mika Miller has a diary where she basically writes down everything. This is all, supposedly,
Thank you for saying that.
Supposedly, it's her diary.
That's what I was arguing with.
Her siblings, her sister and her brother and her mother all confirmed that she had talked about it before. And in this diary, it talks about some pretty graphic stuff. So if you don't want to hear this, children, plug your ears. Basically, one of the things that she talked about.
Don't talk about something crazy. We're gonna get banned if you do something crazy here.
I can't say about the truck driving around.
I don't know I don't know this. I don't know what you're talking about. But
okay, so to make a long story short,
if you're gonna say something about say SA. Don't say anything other. Like I just don't. Yeah, we're already on thin ice with everything.
Okay, I'm gonna allude to it then. Allude to it.
Exactly. Thank you.
So this is what she wrote about. He would take his wife and go find a homeless man to have relationships with her. And then the husband, John Paul Miller.
This is according to her diary.
Yes, according to the diary.
Yes.
Because that is what made him happy.
Her written words, technically.
Yes.
If they are hers or not, we don't 100% know, but yes. But that's
her family confirms it. And supposedly they did one of those, pin tests to see if it was her handwriting. And then also on the same time, he had relationships with the dog that do not involve being man's best friend. So that was weird. That was kind of sketch. Also, Mika has admitted to many different people, especially her sister and her brother and her mother, saying, and I quote, if I ever end up with a bullet in my head, JP did it. There's a lot of weird stuff. And I kind of want you to play the 911 phone call that has been released of the final moments of her life on Earth. I
don't know if I have that.
I texted it to you guys this morning.
That doesn't help me.
Oops. Anyway, so she basically is in this park and she calls 911.
My phone is right here. You dummy.
Well, here, I'll pull it up. Let me see if
it's not going to help us. I can't hear it. So explain it, because I can't hear it because you did not set that up beforehand.
Oops.
Like, this is why we do pre-stuff.
Oops. I thought I said so. Anyway, so basically in the phone call, she sounds very somber. It's very eerie because, to me at least, and this is just my opinion, it sounds like she has come to terms with her death, but it's not of her own free will.
Okay, so this is where you and I started arguing with beforehand.
It's creepy as hell.
Okay, listen, I give you everything that you've said already. Okay,
that's just a few random
all that
things.
stuff is insane. Again, I do find the pastor giving a sermon really, really weird. When your wife is dead.
Yeah.
I mean, you can take a leave of absence. I'm sorry, church is not happening today. It's fine. Or Billy, come and do that. It doesn't matter. That's really weird. But the problem that I have is the TikTok investigators.
Yeah.
That happens every time something happens.
Yeah,
everyone
but they do
goes
more
to
work
the
than...
automatic worst situation, and everyone assumes the absolute worst. The assumption that I get, hold on, before you listen to,
Yeah. I'm
hear me
listening.
out. Thank you. Yeah, you were not going to. You were about to interrupt.
No, I'm thinking.
Everyone goes to the worst situation of this guy offed his wife, okay, and then went about his day because he's an empath, he's a sociopath, whatever. That's what everyone is saying, correct, on TikTok and everything, right? That's what they're all assuming. But, and that's my problem, and this is the same thing. This happens with every situation, every single like police shooting, every single other thing like that. Everyone jumps to conclusions, and that's the narrative goes around. It's a Nicholas Sandman, it's a Jacob Blake,
Okay.
it's everything like that. But it came out today or yesterday. Here, the first article I have, that there is a picture of her. I'm actually going to bring this up on camera. There's a picture of her buying a pistol the day of, at April 27th at 2:54. She ended up dying, I think, a few hours later. Now, I'm not saying a person, a man or somebody can't drive somebody to kill themselves, or unalive themselves.
That happens.
I understand that. And if that's the argument, that sucks. And I understand that. But that's not a physical doing that he pulled the trigger, is my point. And that is where I was like arguing with you earlier, where you were getting mad at me and saying I'm getting mad and invested in this situation. There's a picture of her, all this stuff. They actually did actual investigation for several days.
Yeah.
And they said that she basically did it herself. That's all.
Pardon me for not automatically believing the very first thing that the police come out with when most of them go to the church.
Okay. I mean,
that's suspicious. Also, and I have to say, even if he wasn't the one to actually pull the trigger, but he drove her there. Yeah. And brought her to that point.
But that is a whole different scenario, right?
I mean, if I essayed my spouse to the point of where, like, I convinced them that 100%. This was the only way to get away from me.
It's fair. I understand.
South Carolina don't have assisted suicide.
I agree with you, but here's okay. So I don't think you've seen this.
That's a little messed up in the head.
There was a movie that came out. Of
course, you've seen this movie.
You don't even know what movie I'm talking about.
You watch so many movies. Though.
I do. I like film.
Of course, you have a movie that is similar to this.
It actually is. It's almost an exact plot. So it's called Gone Girl. Okay.
Yeah, I've actually seen that one because she fakes her death.
I didn't think you would see. I didn't think you would see it on
TikTok.
So you haven't seen the film, but you saw the synopsis.
On TikTok. There's like 75 parts.
Oh my gosh. You watched a movie?
Yeah, because she basically
did not watch the whole thing on
She
TikTok.
fakes her death and she frames it on her husband.
And she wrote a diary. She wrote all this stuff. She actually literally did things to make it forensically think.
I hate to break it to you, but Mika's body's in the morgue.
I understand this. I'm saying it is plausible that I want to, this guy drove me to get to this point to unalive myself. Yeah. And therefore I am now going to ruin his entire life because this is what I want. So I'm going to make a diary for the last 6 months because this is all premeditated. I'm saying, is that not plausible?
I think, it is plausible.
I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm not saying there's any evidence of this. I'm just saying that's the first thing that comes to mind when you said about her diary that we don't know if it was hers or not. And if it was her writing, that is, I'm not saying it. I'm not trying to discount her. I'm not trying to discount the story. I am just being an
I am just
person.
saying that a 14/15-ish-year-old girl should not be marrying her 29-year-old youth pastor who was already married, who had 5 kids.
It's kind of weird.
And then
if
what the diary in this woman's family says is true.
Well, as a person who was going to be a youth pastor,
I can't even say half of it on YouTube. Apparently,
yeah, I don't want you to. We don't want to get in trouble here. But
it is pretty graphic.
Well, as a person who went to school and to be a youth pastor and stuff like that, who's not doing it, but you have to make these boundaries with your teenagers and especially women. And so, yes, that's weird. It's different.
Yeah, well, it's even weirder now that he's going around the church saying she was crazy. She had mental illness. It's like this has been going on for so long. Yeah. I'm so glad that it's finally all over. Like,
but again, I'm not saying he didn't groom her. I have no evidence of that. I don't know, but I'm just saying I agree. There's a lot of weird things about the story. I do believe you on everything that you tell me because I know you and I do believe you on things. But
really weird. I want to be getting on this bandwagon because a lot of the people who are making videos about it are all the church hating people. I wouldn't agree with the church haters lightly, but I am also willing to admit that the church, specifically the Catholics, there is a history of sexual assault and domestic violence being brushed under the rug to, keep holding fast to that holier than thou, identity. I will say all of this allegedly again, but I mean, it is there. It does happen.
Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. Again, it's just weird. Yeah, I agree. It's weird, but my issue is just what do you say?
Just these facts alone is not enough to prove it. Well, if you were to play that 911 phone call, though, listening to her like about to cry as she says, "I just want my family to know where my body is," that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just speaking from a true crimes perspective. To me, it didn't sound like her own words, because you can kind of tell when someone is.
About.
Okay,
you were reading into something.
You know what? Fine, whatever. I am reading into it.
Bias is what you're doing.
Okay, I'm reading into it as a woman.
And that's
listening
fine. Just as
to
long as you were
another
admitting
woman.
What you just did, and I'm glad you did. But that's my point. Is there you are kind of reading into it as a bias.
I am reading into it because, as a also hormonal woman, who some might argue I suffer from mental illness as a conservative-ish person.
It's because you're a woman. That's why.
Yeah, and we see things that men just like, it completely goes over their head. This is why we see more colors. We can smell more smells. We're more hyper observant than you guys. You guys could walk into a room and be like, oh, cool. We could walk into a room and be like, hey, there's an exit. That's a sketchy looking person.
It's not true at all.
I don't really like to be over here.
You do that because you've been trained that, but usually it's the other way around.
Agree to disagree. I think inherently all women biologically have it, but I do think that, yeah, my dad and my mom definitely
it was instilled in
taught me that anyway. Okay, but maybe moving on to another church death, since this seems to be the theme that we're going with the other day. Okay, so this happened Sunday.
It wasn't a death though.
Well, an attempt. I'm trying to anyway. So on Sunday,
I want an accurate assess of something instead of just making up something. My bad.
I would get to it. He's not dead. Okay, the point is, this happened on Sunday. Church in the South. No, wait, actually, this Massachusetts?
Pennsylvania, I think.
Pennsylvania. That's where it was.
What we're doing.
Okay, so the point is, I think this is a really cool story because this pastor must have the Holy Spirit on him. So long story short.
Let's just watch it.
Fine. You have this video up?
Mm-hmm.
You were enemies to God. You were in a whole different kingdom than God. And God had chose. Jesus.
Run. Someone put him in a headlock. I feel like we're not being violent enough. Stop yelling about calling the police. Just call the freaking police. Okay, so basically, guy casually walks up to the stage in pajama pants, whips out a Glock or a pistol. I couldn't really tell what that thing was. And just tries to casually shoot the pastor. The pastor realizes my man's here, got a gun. And he dives into the pulpit. And then this guy's I was like, oh, dang, it missed. Okay, let me just.
Well, it jammed on him.
And then gets tackled.
It jammed on him. And then luckily, it looked like somebody from the congregation came and attacked him and stopped him, which
someone
is great.
from the front row probably tackled him. And then the pastor tackled him. And then the guy from the back, I don't know what he was doing back there. He looked like the guy who was maybe doing the candles or something, because that kind of looked like a Catholic black church. But I'm just saying. Okay, it is a solitary fact, Barry. There is black church and there is white church.
It's honestly just kind of amazing. It's amazing that this guy. So what my reading on this was, the guy that was committing this act said that God told him to do this.
Yeah, that's the
and that's what his like motivation was. But when he pulled the trigger, it jammed, and thankfully, you know. But it was really interesting. It was actually just kind of shocking, to be honest. It was really.
I'm just shocked this church got it on video. Like, I mean, most churches. I mean, honestly, a lot of churches today do the recording, live streaming thing, but still, the fact that they got that and then it was posted, the Holy Spirit, Jesus was really working in that church today. He said, not today, Satan. This man has more things to do. But like, damn.
Cool.
That's pretty.
Yeah. That's a good,
it's a good
story, in my opinion.
That's a pretty heartwarming story.
Hopefully this man gets some help, in my opinion, but.
Yeah, because he's just casually whipping out pistols and shooting people in pajama pants. I actually saw a stitch of this, though, on TikTok, because somebody had made a comment. He was like, oh, praise the Lord. This pastor, clearly still has stuff to do in his ministry that, God would jam the gun like that. And oh, Atlanta, the comments on that comment were like, well, if God will jam the bullet on this gun, why isn't he doing that to the victims in Gaza? Or why does he let children get cancer? And I'm just like,
so they're making it for their cause and their plight in life. Like,
well, yes, but also at the same time, I'm like, why can't we just look at something good that happened? God saved a life. This man, I hope he, sits in jail cell for the rest of his life and thinks about his actions. Find Jesus.
Well, this chatter named Robert on YouTube, I think is what this is. He just said that this was a second event. The last one was I don't remember. I want to. The guy that got stabbed.
Same church as the stabbing?
No, the other one. No, that guy was like, I want to say it was like a Jewish. I don't remember.
Yeah, that looked like a synagogue.
I think it was Jewish or something like
kind
that.
of place.
But that one did happen. I think like a couple days, but like the week before this.
Yeah, that just happened too.
Yeah.
That man, thankfully. Okay, so if you guys don't know what we're talking about, like 3-ish weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure it was a synagogue. Basically, pastor there preaching, doing his thing. Man casually walks up, whips out, like a freaking butterfly, like flip knife, and just starts going to town stabbing. Turns out the blade didn't like open all the way or something, and the pastor, just ended up getting bruised. And thank the Lord he is still alive too.
Yeah, I remember it was a big deal when he came back out, and he was like, he came out to the pulpit and basically it's like, you didn't get me,
He's like, hallelujah. Like,
I don't remember where it was. I remember hearing about that, but then this one happened like I think the week after or something like that.
Like, good for like those guys in there for like tackling, the stabbing guy or the shooter and whatnot. But I would love to see more churches have armed security in them. I just would, because I
work in cities though.
In what? Not in liberal cities.
Texas is totally different than I'm thinking California. Like
I know it is.
That's where I'm from, and that's where I grew up. It's just
Okay, it's just every single day more stuff happens in the world. I'd rather have a gun and never use it than need a gun and not have it. And I just think of the story of the sheepdog. And Mom, what town in Texas was that? Basically, a guy walks in with a freaking rifle, is about to start shooting the place, and this old cowboy redneck guy in the back row spots him first, shoots, and kills him. I actually met the guy. He's called the Sheepdog. He gave me his challenge coin when I was speaking over in East Texas. Really, really cool dude. But I wish there were more people like that in the world. Like my church, we have security in there because devil be damned if anybody tries to come in there and tries to get into kids ministry or into the women of the word or does anything to anybody in our congregation. Like, I would really not want to mess with a Southern church. Just don't. It's a terrible idea.
Well, and it's the whole Second Amendment. I think it should be everywhere. Everyone should be able to have a gun if they want for self-protection.
Yeah. Absolutely.
How you stop a lot of the mass shootings that'll happen. And
Well,
that and also the mental health crisis that we do not
because
deal
darn,
with.
Barry, this is a gun-free zone. Well, darn.
Oh,
Go find
I
somewhere
guess
else
it's gonna
to
make a
shoot
criminal who's gonna go and murder somebody. I
Yeah.
guess
Ugh.
can't do it. There's a sign with a circle with an X of a gun.
Have it. Whatever will we do? You know what else has happened really interesting in the world recently? Did you know another Boeing whistleblower just committed suicide? Speaking of another suicide.
Another
thing.
one.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, that was old.
No.
Yeah.
This happened like a week ago.
No, 2 of them. Like the first one died. The second one died like 2 weeks later.
No.
That was like 2
Another
3
one
weeks ago.
died. Another one died. My
Within,
mom
like,
brought it up
last
the other
2
day.
weeks?
There was the first one that we talked about a few weeks ago where he like
Yeah, and
committed
another one
suicide in
happened
his
like a couple
car.
weeks after that. Yeah.
Like while he was testifying.
Yeah.
But no, my mom, we were driving and she was like, yeah, another whistleblower just freaking committed suicide. How many does that make now? 3?
Well, that would be 3 if there's another one because I knew of 2 before this last week. Before right now,
This
I
happened
knew
like
of
a week
2.
ago. We were driving to, where were we driving to? We were driving to the reunion barrel race. And like that just popped up. And I'm just thinking, oh.
Well, with that being said, this
Would
morning.
anybody in the Trump trial commit suicide?
So with that being said, this morning though,
Yeah.
a Boeing 737
No!
in Senegal
That's not how you pronounce
ended
that.
up carrying 85 people, harming 6 or 10 people this morning. That's this morning, and so. But
Are we gonna watch the video or?
Oh, I haven't seen this video. I didn't.
Because I haven't.
I haven't seen
this is just them getting off the plane.
Yeah, this is just. I just wanted
That's
the
the
story.
slide that pops
I
out.
just pulled up the story. It was, but that just happened this morning. This is happening like every week that Boeing is having issues.
Okay, well, my mom just brought me over her computer, and this was 4 hours ago. Boeing whistleblower says he would not fly on 737 MAX plane after defeats claim whistleblower commits suicide. What the?
What date was that?
All of these headlines are 11 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 36 minutes ago. See? I'm not crazy.
Wow. That's debatable.
Whistleblower who raised concerns about Boeing jet dies at 45. This was less than a week ago.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a third one then. I'm pretty sure.
Like how much? This
You
guy.
got to remember.
John Barnett. This is the first one we talked about. John Barnett in South Carolina is the second whistleblower to die in the past three months from what appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Barry, all of these people cannot be committing suicide with a gun to the... No.
Was it 2?
Oh my gosh.
it
How
2
many
shots?
is this?
Yeah.
I'm shooketh. Here, Mom. You can... Someone's texting you via your computer. Whoa, this is crazy. I'm so glad Dad does not work for these people. Oh my gosh. You know, I wonder if it'd ever be possible to somehow stage someone on Trump's staff to commit that. Because I feel like they're not morally high enough
What are you implying?
to do that. I'm just saying, at what point does like framing him with papers not become enough for the shadow alphabet?
Well, that's the whole
anymore.
That's the whole
They
theory.
killed Kennedy. What am I saying?
Exactly.
Of course they're not above it.
That's the whole theory is if they really don't want him to be president, they won't.
Are they gonna they're gonna pull a John Wilkes Booth up in here? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
oh,
And so
isn't it? Okay, I was about to say, isn't it so much fun to think about our amazing government? And I'm just like, they would kill us in a heartbeat. Absolutely, they
without
would.
a doubt.
I
Without a
had the
doubt.
realization yesterday that we are living officially in the Hunger Games, okay? Like,
Oh
we
my
got the Capitol and we got, like, District 12 up in here, all right? And I can't help but think, like, the liberals, they love to say that, like, oh, we're fighting the Capitol. I'm like, but y'all want more Capitol. Like, y'all want more of the creepy guys with the white masks and the weird futuristic guns. Like, we're the ones who are District 13 trying to fight against this. And then I didn't realize it was happening, but apparently it happened. Did you know the Met Gala happened like 2 days ago?
Mm-hmm. I was informed.
Okay, so I was not aware of this.
I didn't know it was
should have
happening.
known.
I've been informed since. Yes.
Okay, well, the Met Gala happened. It's an invitational only event, just for everyone out there. It's basically where all the A-list people get to all meet together and just like gloat and just marinate in their own narcissism. It's ridiculous. But this year was different because they are no longer inviting influencers because apparently the A-list celebrities don't want the influencers there because they, quote, didn't have to work for it anymore. But to get into the Met Gala, besides having to have an invitation-only ticket, did you know it costs $75,000 per ticket to get into the Met Gala?
And that's only for a ticket. That's not for like the dinner.
No. And all they do in there,
like $300,000.
Okay, that was another thing. No one, supposedly, we've never known what goes on inside the Met Gala, and like that was supposed to be like shh, hush, hush, secret. Like it's the A-list people, it's the celebrities thing. But apparently, all they do in there is just fawn over each other in their weird.
Well, it's a fashion event, isn't it?
So that's another thing. The Met Gala is always known for having a theme, and the internet loves to rip apart everyone who goes to the Met Gala because no one ever gets the theme right. Like last year, I'm pretty sure their theme was camp.
Camp?
Camp.
What does that mean? C-A-M-P?
Yeah, camp. But not like camping.
What is camp as in a fashion? I don't understand.
I don't fully understand what camp means. I still
Just
don't.
wear khaki shirts and
no,
like
it doesn't mean that. It means
again, that's what I'm thinking.
else.
I think of camp as like, how do you dress for camp?
It's like
something
this
like
bougie, like old money thing. I can't explain it. But this year's theme was like gardens as old as time and whatnot.
What is this?
I know. Pull up this lady.
Hair.
Pull up this interview. This is what I'm talking about. What I just said.
2.5-hour interview. I'm not gonna be able to pull this.
Okay, I just want you to zoom in on her face, her outfit.
What is
because this is what I was just saying when I said that we're entering the Hunger Games again. Because I cannot tell you how many TikTok edits I have seen of the Hunger Games, like Mockingjay song being played.
About, yeah, that's how I knew it was happening because I saw this too.
And it's of all of these people and these ridiculous outfits that you can't even sit down in.
This hair is 100% Hunger Games vibes.
Okay, I need you to just pull up Met Gala fits because oh my gosh, these people are crazy. Seriously, mental, crazy. Like Doja Cat, she just flat out wore a bathrobe and a hair turban. There were some people who just wore. Okay, Zendaya, honestly, she looked fabulous. Like, look at these people. Like bird cages. Like
she's got a mosquito net around her.
Yeah, garden is old as time.
What is this?
Yeah, this is my point right now.
Is the goal of this just to look really
crazy?
Strange and weird?
Yeah, because
that girl doesn't look strange and weird.
Yeah, until you zoom in on it and you realize, okay, one of these women, they wore like a paper mache dress. Another one wore like this bird's nest creation that was like see-through boobs. Like there's all sorts of weird stuff. Like these people go in there.
Oh,
they dress
I'm not gonna
like
click
this.
on any more than I'm gonna click on something bad. We're gonna get banned.
Yeah, because their favorite thing is to not wear clothes to the Met Gala. Yeah. Like they go very.
But it's just a fashion event, right? That's all it is. But it's a very, very expensive.
Yeah, but they go in there $75,000, and the thing that I've been seeing all over TikTok is people are like, "Yeah, $75,000 for a Met Gala ticket is great. I can't afford rent this month.
Food is $500 a month now. Yeah,
$500 a month, $500 a week
for one person. That's a lot of money for food, for groceries. Yeah,
$500 a month is what you pay for groceries.
Close to, yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's still pretty cheap
for one person a month. No, that's a lot.
I mean that she's giving me a weird face over there.
Yeah,
See,
you're thinking more of a family wise. That's why.
No, I'm thinking more like single person with a dog.
Yeah,
you and Ori. That still seems cheap to me. I'm just saying. That was just my point. People are making the memes. Oh yeah, I hope y'all had a great time in the Met Gala.
Okay, well, second of all, I have to work 3 jobs. The last month and a half, I've been doing mainly nothing but carnivore, and so I'm buying just meat. And so yeah. But anyway, why are you looking at me like that?
Because I'm still trying to figure out your budget. What is Ori doing carnivore too? I'm confused.
No. What do you mean?
She's a dog. Oh look. Nope, that's an old Met Gala picture right there. Zendaya Cinderella. She absolutely stunned it though. You need to clarify. Half of these fits are from years past. Like that's from a few years ago.
Matter. It's always stupid. So
that's my point. Is that like it really? See, look at that thing with like it looks like a period.
Wait,
at the bottom left corner. The bottom, no, up one. Yes, right there. There you go.
Oh my!
If you just want to laugh at something for a second,
you're insane.
Tell me that doesn't look like it. It looks like a used tampon.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. So it's Lizzo. That's what okay, that's Lizzo.
Lizzo.
I would have never have known that that's Lizzo without the words there. But
I honestly I didn't even know that was Lizzo either.
What is this?
I know. It's the garden is old with time.
I've never paid attention.
Don't
to
you
this
feel
thing.
so honored to be in the presence of these Capitol members? You District 13 peasant! I love it. It's great.
I don't know.
Fan-freaking-tastic. I love living in this futuristic world where, like, these people do this just casually for fun, and we get stuck with the bill of $100+ billion to Ukraine.
What is she like? What?
I know. Welcome to it. See, look, that's Zendaya right there. Honestly, I think she looks lovely.
Her makeup looks terrible.
It's very dark.
She looks like a zombie.
Okay, the makeup maybe is not
those
the best.
eyes look terrible.
Okay, maybe the eye makeup was not the best, but as a seamstress, I kind of liked that dress. Like, that was very
Wait, isn't it the same girl?
Yeah, some of them did costume changes, I know.
What?
I know. You can laugh about it too. You can just look at it and just see. These are actually a lot more calm.
See, but wouldn't you like this as a person who makes her own costumes?
No.
Why?
Because I like my clothes to actually be tasteful and not look like you got it from a Walmart mosquito net.
So you asked the artist here, what's the inspiration? Oh, I was sitting out, in my Florida, just looking out, and I was like, oh, I can get a mosquito. What are those things called? Those porches that have the mosquito nets, so that they don't get,
Yep.
That's what that looks like.
And she's wearing like tennis shoes with it. That's like the best part.
It's like rocks, actually. It looks like holes.
See, like, okay, this outfit right here. Okay, we're gonna do a segment called Fashion Dissects with Savvy because I feel like it right now. This outfit right here, honestly, I'm not sure I would have paired it with a white collar like dress like that. It honestly looks like a long like slip length dress, and that jewelry isn't the best. But like, that's a cool duster. The flowers are nice. The placement is flattering to her. I wish she would take her hands out of her pockets, maybe give me some triangle angles with the posing, but that's lovely. Next one. The bob is terrible though. Okay, here we got Kim K, and we got, I don't know who that is. Courtney? Kendall. That's Kendall.
I have no idea who these people are.
That is Kim Kardashian and Kendall Jenner. That looks like she took the tabs off of like a bunch of Coca-Cola cans and then put it together. And then she decided that it was a little cold out tonight. So she decided to grab like her sweatshirt, but then cropped it and is now wearing it as a
This
shot.
looks normal though.
That's weird.
She looks normal, except for like, it's kind of strange with the...
I mean, it's a V, it's a
but
low.
it's semi-normal. Like, I
that
can see
honestly looks like my mom's dress that she wore to her first military ball. I still have that
that's
dress
what I
in
mean.
my
I could
closet,
see this
actually.
at some sort of fancy dinner, and it would be okay.
I think it's nice.
This
the
is just-
beading, no.
it's not terrible, but it's
Kim needs to stop.
cool
Okay.
hat, dude.
So
Captain Hook wants his hat back.
no, he looks like he's about to say, "My name is Antigua Montoya. You killed my father.
Yeah, that's
Prepare to
pretty
die." And why does he have a dead bouquet of flowers? Is my question.
They're just black.
Okay, great. This one, I don't know who this lady is.
We're not gonna stop at all these.
I
Come on
mean,
now.
okay, that was nice. A little weird shaped. I don't know why the train is in the front of her dress, but Okay, this chick though, that's a nude dress right there, middle one. I don't know if you
we're
can show
gonna
that.
scroll past that a little bit. So we don't get in trouble here.
So this was actually one of the only influencers that got invited, Emma Chamberlain. So she looks like she just walked out of like a Hot Topic, but she's about to go to a wedding, which is an interesting look. There's Doja with a towel. Honestly, Billie Eilish there. I don't get why she has like the spandex gloves. But
those look out of
oh
place.
wait, no, that's
Everything
Sydney
else looks
Sweeney.
fine.
I'm sorry. That's Sydney Sweeney, not Billie Eilish.
That looks. Yeah, I don't like the gloves, but everything else looks fine. Looks like a normal human.
Okay. See what I mean about like
See,
the
he looks
Capitol?
fine though.
He
Like,
looks fine, and then she's just
but it's a
wearing
Hemsworth. That's
pasties
why he
and
looks good.
underwear
Okay,
under
that's
there.
why. It's Chris Hemsworth.
Cheater.
Cheater.
He cheated on his wife. That's beside the point. Okay, she looks like Merida right there. That makeup is
but here's the thing though too.
I don't know what's going on with the purple lipstick.
the whole Capitol situation thing, like of the Hunger Games, like
yeah.
everyone worships these people. Oh, I gotta pull this up real quick before I go on. This is the winner. This is the
Hunger
winner.
Games.
That
What
hair.
is that? Okay, Barry, she looks like she's about to say, may the odds be ever in your favor.
No, she's about to say that was mahogany, is what she's going to say.
Barry, if you don't do the accent, it's
I'm
pointless.
sorry, I'm not going to do the accent. I'm not.
This is mahogany.
I'm not going to do the accent because I'm a dude. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, bad for you.
Anyway,
the accent's what pulls
the
it
thing
together.
is, like, everyone worships these people. America loves celebrities.
I don't even know who half these people are.
You did a pretty good job there. I didn't know it.
I recognized a few of them, not gonna lie.
But
I don't follow any of them.
The thing is, like, this is everyone. I bet you anything there was watch parties of this event. And everyone loves this stuff. Everyone thinks it's so cool.
Literally
everyone
like
wants
millions
it.
of dollars.
I wasn't it didn't AOC go to this a couple years ago and it was a huge
and she had
thingy
that disgusting ugly white dress with the
thing.
swatch.
Everyone loves this stuff because it's part of the in crowd and it's part of that 1%.
I don't want to be a part of the 1% or the in crowd. This is embarrassing. We've turned ourselves into this weird
normally I would
dystopian future.
Fight back on you with that, but since I do know you, I don't believe you would want to be a part of this because I definitely don't. Be. But I'm just saying, like,
I don't want to be caught dead showing up to the Met Gala in something that shows off my pasties and my underpants, or literally a bath towel.
So wait, okay. Actually, you know what? I am going to come back on this. You were invited to go to the Met Gala as Savannah Lynn. Do whatever you want, and you want to make anything that you possibly can to show it off.
My own dress.
You want
over to that thing right there?
You would 100% do it. So I think you're lying. Because you didn't think it through. And I don't mean you're lying.
No.
I think you would actually love to go to this thing.
You would I would go to a fashion event. That would be fun. But I would never go to the Met Gala for the sole reason of I know what goes on when they close that doors and they don't allow any media in there. I don't need to wake up. No, I don't want to wake up in the freaking Ritz-Carlton down the street with a Polaroid picture of whatever I did in the middle of the night on the bed next to me as I'm passed out, butt cheek naked. And then have that be blackmail for the rest of my life?
Real quick.
Well, that's what they do. Barry, that is what they do.
Are you talking about an Epstein situation here?
No, I'm talking about all these A-list actors are always in cahoots with each other. They all have dirt on each other. This has been proven to be true over and over again.
Well, I'm saying that's what the whole Epstein thing was like. The thought was Epstein worked with the government and the CIA to get powerful and rich people.
Yeah.
Haven't
you heard all of the diss tracks going on between Kendrick Lamar and Drake right now?
No,
I mean,
don't listen
they
to
freaking called out each other for being, one of them's a wife beater and the other one's a pedophile and the other one slept with like a 14-year-old girl and the other one is like, I don't want anything to do with these
Diddy
people.
Thing too and all that stuff. I understand.
Yeah.
That's the whole. I understand that. But
I want nothing to do with that. Hard pass. I will absolutely go to a fashion event because that would be super fun.
But
like if Disney ever invited me to a red carpet premiere of their movie, everyone who gets invited that always does a cool outfit that's themed like the movie. I would do that. Because I get to go watch a movie. You get like the cool popcorn bucket. That's fun. That's fine. This is creepy. I get some weird creepy vibes off of this, especially a few years ago after they did like the Catholic like Satan theme and everyone was dressing up with like crosses. One lady literally just had cross pasties over her hoo-has.
Nice.
And her nips. And then had like sparkles all over. And that was her outfit. Okay, I don't want anything to do with these people. There's something demonic about it. No. Spiritual red flags. I can't even. There's no way you convince me to go to that. When I want to play dress up in fashion, I go to a cosplay convention. Like what I'm doing on Sunday. I'm going to a cosplay convention. So I can go dress up. And possibly win some money. I'll do that.
Or something else that you'll never use.
Okay, first of all, I need to learn how to use that 3D printer.
I taught you how to use a 3D printer, by the way.
I'm kind of scared to use it.
Have you
really want help, though.
Yet? I was actually going to ask you that on Monday, but I didn't.
I really need help.
I actually want to print something for my drone. So
okay, you can print something for your drone if you show me how to print clone armor.
Take it home. I'll leave it here.
No, I want to print clone armor. Because for my next cosplay that I want to enter into a convention, I want to print Omega, Bad Batch, Clone Troopers 99, like clone armor.
Yeah, we just got to find the schematics for it. We can do it. It's not that hard. I showed you how to do it.
Okay, that's my plan.
We can definitely do that.
That's my plan for the day.
That's not a conversation we need to do on here. This is.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if anyone wants to go to a cosplay convention, hit me up because those things are awesome. You might find a furry and someone using a litter box, but you know, that's the price I'm willing to pay to hang out with a bunch of other nerds.
Furries are weird. Sexual cult weirdos.
I'm not going to disagree.
No,
I personally try to avoid them.
I'm not lying. That's what furry is. The furry is a sex cult thingy. It's not up for debate.
I mean, yeah.
But Again, it's not a
Yeah.
fake hate. I know that for a fact. In internet culture,
Okay.
is what it is. It's really weird. It's really
That's
there's some
kind of
weirdos.
gross. You know, speaking of furries though, there's this trend on TikTok that's going around that goes with this sound that the devil can't have what the Lord has won. And basically the trend is on the devil can't have, you post like the old picture of yourself, and what the Lord has won, you show like your new self. And it's just really sweet because you see a lot of like these people who were furries or were sexually deviant or were straight up like Satan worshipers. And then you see that like they have been reborn. They're a Christian now. They have like this new life about them. And like this
Okay.
one guy had like this coolest transformation because he was an orange and turquoise wolf furry with glasses and he had speckled hawks like in the tail, the whole 9 yards, like full bodysuit. And then the next picture of is him as this like 6'3", like rustic looking cowboy on the bed of his truck with ironically a blue heeler dog. Thought it was hilarious. I'm like, dang, glow up.
Now, okay, I got a question.
Just saying.
Do you think it's just your algorithm pushing stuff onto you, which I think is partially it? Or is it something bigger with a lot of these people?
Yeah.
Like all influencers all over the world are like starting to come to Christ. Like more and more. Like Russell Brand was a big one last week. I don't know the authenticity of him.
I keep
like,
following him because he gets his accounts deleted off TikTok.
Yeah, well, like he was the big one. He's like, oh, I just got baptized and all this stuff, and now he's trying to read the Bible. There's another guy that's really popular. That's part of his name's Ian Crossland. He's part of like the whole Timcast stuff.
Yeah.
He's starting to read the Bible right now. I know a bunch of other influencers. That Nala chick that we talked about a couple weeks ago is a big influencer that's coming out. Like a lot of people are more like, again, it could be that our algorithms pushing it a little bit, but I've been noticing. I don't know. Do you understand what I'm trying to like say? Like, do you think?
I mean,
like, this
I
is
would say
something
so.
That's like it's almost like the rebellion of going back to Christ kind of thing, maybe, like.
I mean, okay.
Which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying like, I don't know if it's just again my algorithms.
I would agree that TikTok definitely is pushing on my algorithm, what I enjoy seeing, what I'm going to watch more. But I mean, a lot of these videos that I'm watching have like 180, 300,000 likes alone. I do think that there actually is like the spiritual, like Christian movement going on.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
On TikTok. And maybe not even just like, I would say like the faith and the religion and Jesus is reaching out and touching a lot of people's hearts. Yeah, that's true. But then on kind of, the opposite side of the same coin, what I also see going on is a lot of people like realizing, waking up to the reality of like, we're not actually free. This wasn't actually free will. Like,
that's in America, like what we've been doing the last couple of years.
That this isn't actually our choice. This is all an algorithm. Like something is going on behind the scenes. And you were talking about like Russell Brand being one of them. There's another guy on there. He hasn't like particularly come to Christ fully, but his name is Stephen Hilton. He's married to, or was, I should say, married to this woman named Laura Clury, who if you ever were on TikTok, like, and you watch like the Pamela Pumpkin workout videos.
Yeah, the English guy. Yeah, the Pamela. That girl was
Pumpkin.
really stinking funny, like in the beginning of like Vine and stuff like that.
So
her,
and her husband,
I have seen him. Yeah, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
As conservative, they got into divorce.
They got a divorce, and he's like a Christian Bible believing. He got a Trump supporter, and that's why they got divorced. Mainly was all that garbage. My understanding. I know what you're talking about.
I don't know if it was fully that he switched,
assuming,
because from what I have actually seen on both of them talking about it, about the fact that they're separated now on TikTok, she definitely doesn't agree with him, but they're co-parenting great together. They have multiple kids.
Yeah,
they have 3.
Sure, but
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I remember when she blew up. When she blew up in like the 2015s, 16,
like that.
She blew up really big. But then they got married shortly. I remember that. But yeah, I remember seeing that. I think maybe like 6-7 months ago of him actually like.
He talks about it too.
Being a real big Christian.
There's a lot of people like that though, Barry, who are like.
And that's what I mean. Like,
opening
I feel
up
like they're like, either we're getting, like everyone says this is, we're coming to the end and, revelation and, or a great awakening is happening. Like,
it's kind of true.
I believe it. I believe there's a timeline. I think our timeline's almost there, but.
You think?
I do.
You think the trumpets are about to sound?
So with numerology and math, which I don't know if we want to get into this or not.
That needs to be a different episode because
Well,
good
I
Lord,
need
that could go
to
on
brush
for
up on it a while,
minute.
but I need to brush up on it a lot.
Are you talking
but
about
like,
the fact that we're almost in the 7,000th year?
7,000th? No. Well, yeah, it's the numerology is every.
Mm-hmm.
Don't quote me on this. 2,500 to 2,600, whatever that number is. There's like a special number between like the flood and Jesus, between or Abraham and Jesus, or the flood, Abraham to all that stuff, to Jesus' death, to now. So the
Okay, but just to clarify for everyone out there, we're not talking about like the 111222333 thing, the angel numbers. We're not talking about that.
No. So
we're talking about like
any
actual timeline.
There's
of history.
actual like numerology in the Bible of like the God number, which I think I want to say was like 9.
I thought it was 7.
777.
Because
no, the numbers are like
is
9.
the number of incompletion, and 7 is completion.
But there's different numbers with different numerology theories about this stuff. Again, in my opinion, they are all theories, but they're all fascinating. So there's different things. So everything's broken down like with the Fibonacci sequence and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it's 9 is the number. Again, it's been years since I've studied this stuff. But my point is, sake of argument, the theory is with the blood moons and all the stuff that's going on, with all the technology that we have, some people believe 33 is the start of tribulation. So 2033 is technically not exactly 2,000 years, but it's like close to that 2,000 year thing of where they think maybe Jesus died and was resurrected because
I had to think for a second. What year are we in? 2024.
Yeah. So it's about 10 years. Yeah.
So we have
that's the theory.
6 years.
But again, the theory was also, it's every decade by somebody at from the 50s.
The world's gonna.
Yeah, everyone says that it's just one of those fun numerology things. But like when you do it for astrology, when you do it for like the blood moons, when you do it for all like the eclipses and stuff like that, all these telltale signs. So like the theory is also like the eclipses and stuff like happened during Jesus' death and stuff like that. And so it's just all these numerology things that are kind of really interesting and it's interesting to learn. But for us to talk about it more in depth, I'd have to do a lot more research.
I think that would be a fun episode to talk about.
It'd be
on.
interesting,
and we could do
but I'd have to
the
come up with a lot
numerology
of
stuff and then just turn it to like a Revelations episode. Kind of talk about all the stuff that's coming true. If I'm not mistaken, though, the river in the Middle East, the Euphrates River, still drying up. Creepy sounds are still coming out of it, but that's old news. So no one cares about the fact that it sounds like literal demons.
Well, here's another thing too. So
down there,
the theory is this. So the theory that I kind of espouse to, is I believe there was genetic manipulation before the flood. As in, that's why they created giants and hybrids.
Have you seen the relation of pigs and human hands?
No.
For the genetic alteration.
I have no idea what we're talking about there.
Well, they were just talking about like when Satan did his thing down here, he took humans and mixed them with animals.
Yeah.
They did things.
Well, that's why I'm talking about genetic
abomination.
Before the flood, I believe that there was, because again, the whole thing was to destroy the DNA or the seed of the woman, so that Jesus could not be born into a pure thing. So they corrupted all the DNA and created hybrids of chimeras and centaurs and like the Egyptian eagle heads and stuff like that. Humans, all that stuff I believe was real. I believe giants were real. I believe dinosaurs created that way. I believe that actual giants were created that way. The giants that actually go and eat human beings, stuff like that. And then God started over. But it still kind of exists. But so like Nimrod, who was the guy that tried to build the Tower of Babel and tried to go and destroy God and kill God.
Yeah.
The theory is that he is the Antichrist. So the theory is now
he's dead though.
That he was buried at one point, and they believe that there's evidence of something happening in like the 2012s.
For the 2012.
Yeah, or in like 2012, like that, where the theory is that they found his remains, and now that we know gene splicing now, and we're getting better at DNA stuff, they'll resurrect him that way. and he will end up becoming and creating the whole 7-year tribulation and become the Antichrist. But again, look at us now. Look at Israel. Look at Palestine. Look at Iran. Look at Syria. Everyone's getting really pissed off at Israel. Look what's going on now. I mean, Israel was not a place 50 years ago or 60 years ago. And since 52, they were not a place for 2,000 years. It's weird. It's really weird. I don't know.
To be another episode, though.
So anyway, that's my point. Anyway,
I think that's a good
it's all
place.
conspiracy stuff. But
Okay.
it's
Barry,
fun to talk about.
be going to this forever, though. I think this definitely needs to be a new episode. What if we make this Monday's episode? Can you do your research by Monday?
I don't know. I got to work a lot. I just spent $1,500 on it.
Fine. Maybe next Thursday.
I got to work a lot.
So,
We'll
if anything
table
interesting
that.
doesn't happen over the weekend.
We'll table that.
Oh, well. But anyway, I think that's a good place to stop this today. Anyway, y'all, hope you enjoyed today's BS podcast. Number, what are we, 11?
Yeah.
Maybe 11.
It was
Number 11.
definitely BS today.
Close to a baker's dozen, but not there yet. Anyway, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, comment down below what your favorite biblical conspiracy theory is. I would love to know. My personal favorite is the large earth theory and all the petrified giant trees and the tools and the petrified animals all across the world. I think we were a lot bigger back then. I think we need to talk about that.
Large earth, you mean?
The large earth theory.
As in large vegetation, not like a bigger earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vegetation, animals, people were bigger back then because there was more oxygen. This was, of course, pre-flood. Anyway, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. All the things are down below, and we will see y'all next Monday.